What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo's Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 7 Trailer Breakdown.
Yeah. If you like what you see, make sure that you hit that like button and hit the bell so that you're notified of all of our other videos.
And please subscribe and tell your friends because they want to know what we know.
The words of Darth Maul. Soon the galaxy will be remade. We see a Star Destroyer kind of coming into focus, like at the beginning of New Hope.
Right, yeah.
We see a Mandalorian standing above a burning city, which I don't know if confirms we're getting the Siege of Mandalore in Season 7, but we're getting the Siege of Mandalore in Season 7.
Pretty sure we are.
You know, if we really awesome, if I forget his name already, but the Gus Fring character from Mandalorian is there.
Oh yeah, Moff Gideon.
Gideon, that's it. Yes.
You know, they might. I mean, if he had the Darksaber, so he might very well make an appearance.
If he gets the Darksaber in this season of the Clone Wars, that's going to be awesome. I do think we're going to see some Mandalorian things, like during the siege. Maybe we're going to see young Din Djarin be rescued by the Death Watch.
Maybe we'll even see the birth of the child.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
That would be very cool. Then we hear Maul again, the Jedi. And we see Mace, Obi-Wan, and a couple clones fighting a ton of clankers, also known as battle droids to some of you out there.
Oh boy, that's how they sound, right?
Roger, Roger.
Roger, Roger.
Then we hear Maul and Republic. And we see some clone troopers like kind of walking on a tarmac, getting ready for battle. Will die. And then we see Maul opening his eyes. And as I was watching this for maybe the 10th, 15th time, I'm thinking, well, at that time, I've still watched it more. But two things came to mind. He's telling us all things we already know. But still, I'm like, yes! Oh, they're going to get theirs. But it's one of those things, like, I think they failed so bad in the prequels. You know, we know Anakin was turning to the dark side. We know he's going to become Darth Vader.
Yeah.
They just didn't do a great job of
explaining it, yeah.
We know everything that's going to happen, who's going to live, who's going to die in this, but it still looks absolutely amazing. Like, we're going to have surprises, we're going to be interested. I mean, everything about it looks great. But the other thing I thought of, in the 5th season of the Clone Wars, after Emperor Palpatine kills Savage Opress, or as one of the guys calls him in the show, Savage Opress. And Maul says, "Oh, are you going to kill me now?" He says, "Oh, I still have plans for you." So we're probably going to see a lot of Maul in this. If the trailer's anything, it's going to be the Maul and Ahsoka show.
Well, I mean, who are the most popular characters in this series?
Yeah, no, true. And they've led this way. You know, he even says, all paths have led this way. But if they're doing the Siege of Mandalore, we know currently Maul is ruling Mandalore.
Yep.
He's got the Darksaber. He's ruling Mandalore. And Ahsoka has been on Mandalore helping, and she's made friends, and we know she's going to be a part of this since she left the Jedi Order at the end of Season 6, or 5. And then we hear Mace Windu, "I sense a plot to destroy the Jedi."
Yep. I recall him saying that in, I believe, in the Clone Wars. Or
it might have been or Revenge of the Sith.
Did he say Revenge?
I think it was the Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. He did say, that was kind of like the first hint that I think that we get in this this preview that this might actually be intersecting a bit with Revenge of the Sith instead of just strictly taking place before it.
Yeah, there's a couple scenes where it seems that way, and we'll talk about more here coming up.
That's just fantastic storytelling. I mean, this is Dave Filoni's project, right?
Yes.
And he's very good at his storytelling, and I enjoyed the Mandalorian, everything he's done. So he could probably weave this in, and just like if you watch them together later, you're just going to be in awe.
A lot like Jon Favreau. He's a fan, and it shows, and he really cares and loves these characters. And one of the rebels, or one of the Jedi we see sitting around the table, I do believe is Kane from Star Wars Rebels. We'll show a picture, and I'll kind of circle him here, which is a cool nod to another show that's going to be coming down the line, because obviously he escapes Order 66, and he's out on his own before he meets Ezra. So I thought that was a nice nod. And then we see Maul, like, using his powers on a clone, either bringing out Order 66 or, influencing them or something. We're not really sure. We see Yoda saying, "Great care we must take."
Mm-hmm.
And then we see, not sure who it is, but talking to Ahsoka. We see Ahsoka riding on a speeder bike and she's talking. And why would anyone walk away from being a Jedi?
Mm-hmm.
And
So do you think she's going to, at this point, explain where she was coming from?
She kind of
We
does.
they also show an image of Anakin.
Well, they do show her walking away
Mm-hmm.
when she left the Order from season 5. We do see that scene, and I think she will, because she kind of explains it
She had
in
a little
here.
monologue to it.
Yeah, she says, we were trained as keepers of peace, not soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the thing that I really think the outline of Emperor Palpatine's takeover was so absolutely, it wasn't executed well in any of the movies, but the fact that he manipulated to get a war started, to get all these clones.
He basically had two sides. He created two sides and propped them up against each other in order to take power.
And got all the Jedi out fighting in all these battles, weakening them so he could take them down. And he had control of he knew to have that Order 66 put in the clones from the beginning, all part of his plan. He just had everything mapped out perfectly and it all fell into place. And we're going to see a lot of that happen here. We have some theories about what we think may happen here. We see Anakin after she says not soldiers, he destroying some droids, looking very angry, which makes sense since we know what happens. And then we hear Rex, "We clones have mixed feelings about the war. Without it, we wouldn't exist."
It's got a point.
Which, is kind of deep for a cartoon.
Yeah.
Going into, hey, you guys may think that we're just clones, but...
You know what, though? This kind of goes to prove the point that they're trying to make with the Avatar The Last Airbender series. You can have a good, deep cartoon that doesn't have to be for kids. You can have an animated series that isn't just for kids,
No, I agree.
There are a lot of people that have, watched the show, big Star Wars fans, and, it's nice to see something that is a little bit more mature.
Yep. And we hear Maul again, all part of the plan. So obviously he's led on. Palpatine has let him know what he wants. Obviously he's working as a side agent because Dooku is still his apprentice and working for Darth Sidious. Mm-hmm. And I'm really looking forward to see how this all pans out. We see Ahsoka in hyperspace, probably heading off to either the Siege of Mandalore or maybe back to Coruscant, because it does look like Coruscant is under siege at another part in this.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see a shot of Anakin, and we know where his fate lies. He lights his lightsaber, and he's going up against a couple people.
Mm-hmm. I love that scene that they show with just a hand and the lightsaber. That was great.
Yep. And then we hear Maul again. Everything is about to change. We see Ahsoka looking very shocked. And then we see something that is absolutely, I think, my favorite scene outside of Maul and Ahsoka squaring off. But you see the 501st with Rex, and their helmets are painted to look like Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
So this is after she left the Jedi Order, and they're just paying her the ultimate respect. And I just thought that was so cool. I really got chills when I saw it. I'm like,
that is pretty cool.
Damn you, Clone Wars! Stop doing that to me. Then we see Obi-Wan getting ready for battle. Getting his patented stance with his lightsaber and his fingers.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a battle on Mandalore is taking place between clones and Mandalorians. God, I couldn't get that out. And then a lot of the battle droids and the super battle droids. And then, we see the troopers versus the droid army. And then we see Anakin with Padme, talking. She's a thing. We see a little baby bump. And two things about this. One, there was more chemistry between them in this scene than in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. But we were talking.
What do you mean, Keith? You mean the between the speech of how much he hates sand and also his genocide, there wasn't good romantic chemistry?
No.
It dragged it down just a little bit.
Just a little, okay.
Yeah. But in what we were talking about earlier in the video, what Doug was talking about, this movie is going to intersect at the same time as Revenge of the Sith, because Anakin did not find out she was pregnant until Revenge of the Sith. And either two things is happening. He knows, and this is after that scene of Revenge of the Sith, or he's oblivious to the fact that she has a little baby bump right there. Or it's a big plot hole, I guess. And they just, But I do think that we are going to see scenes that take place either during Revenge of the Sith.
But maybe like from a different angle or somebody else's point of view.
Exactly. Because there's a lot of characters that were probably doing things during Revenge of the Sith that we don't see. We don't know what Maul's doing. We know Maul is alive until Rebels. Ahsoka is still alive at the end of Rebels. So they're doing things during Revenge of the Sith, and we don't know what that is.
And compared to where Solo sits in that, is Solo after Rebels?
No, Solo is before Rebels.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we see, a sweet space battle, a lot of action scenes, and a little montage, which you'll be seeing now while you hear me talk. And one of the things, man, they really went all out on the animation. The animation on Clone Wars has always been great.
Good. Yeah. I absolutely love every bit of, you see this in a couple of times throughout this trailer. All of the lightsaber battles, every time somebody just moves a lightsaber, like you can just see the effect that they clearly put some time and effort and money into this. It's really good.
And that's what I said when I first started watching it with Keith. When Keith told me about it, I watched the Clone Wars and I'm thinking I'm not gonna watch that. It's it's gonna be some silly animation and I'm not gonna like it. It's proven me 100% wrong. I've loved the animation. The story's great. It's been quite an experience.
And then we hear Maul once again, and he's like, every choice made has led to this. And that leads into Ahsoka and him facing off. And we see Ahsoka igniting her white blades because she's no longer part of the Jedi Order. She's not a Sith. She's that Skywalker.
We wish. We wish.
And then we see Maul looking very Phantom Menace, spinning his, dual-bladed lightsaber, just getting ready for action. And just, that's that grab scene we get at the end of this trailer that if you weren't excited for this season before that, you should be now.
I mean, just seeing a badass lightsaber duel between Ahsoka and Maul, I would watch it just for that.
Now, every that lightsaber that he lit up, every Inquisitor had one of those. Is that like a special thing for Inquisitors? Maybe.
They never really said. We see them in Rebels, and they all sort of have it, and maybe they just liked using it. We know Savage Opress had one too, and maybe it was the weapon from Dathomir, where they came from with the Night Sisters. And I want to talk about that because we were talking about something, Anakin turning to the dark side was all predicated on the fact that Padme was going to die when she gave birth.
Right.
And, we heard the bedtime story of Darth Plagueis the Wise and how he could do this, and all of that led down to Anakin becoming Darth Vader. And I kept thinking, and I'm rewatching the Clone Wars right now, and we know that the Night Sisters have a lot of force powers that are kind of outside the normal Jedi and Sith. Mm-hmm. And what if part of Emperor Palpatine or Darth Sidious's plan for Maul is to get the Night Sisters to make, give Anakin the nightmares that she's going to die, but actually do something that is going to kill her after childbirth.
That would make a lot more sense, and I would like it a lot better if it wasn't that she just died of sadness or whatever it was that Revenge of the Sith gave us.
Yeah, so that's underexplained. Maybe they could explain it all the way through the end of this.
And series. I love the thought that you have as far as like where his premonitions are coming from, because that was something that I always wondered in Revenge of the Sith, where he was constantly waking up in fear because he kept seeing her die. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if they explained something like along the lines that they had actually put that in his head, that would be kind of cool.
And it would really make Palpatine even more of an amazing villain, because all the things he planned out and had to get into place, knowing, hey, this Anakin Skywalker kid, he's extremely powerful. How do I get him to be my apprentice? Oh, he's in love. Or kind of push it towards Padme, get him to fall in love, get that reoccurring nightmare from the Night Sisters and have them kill Padme to force it. Dude, hats off. You deserve the galaxy at that point, quite honestly.
You could even make the argument that he would be smart enough to survive the Death Star if he could put all this together.
I don't even want to get into that. That's don't even get me started with that.
Come on, Doug, that's how it happened.
I'll tell you what, Dave.
Okay.
After we see season 7 of the Clone Wars, we'll revisit whether we think Palpatine was smart because he planned almost for every contingency.
Yeah, but I think we're dealing with two different Palpatines
I
here.
know we are. We definitely are.
We're dealing with a proper, well-done Palpatine made by a fan of Star Wars and J.J. Abrams, who was just trying to clean up a mess. So, or what he perceived as a mess.
Yeah, very true.
Well, the whole trilogy was kind of a mess. So
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some good parts and bad parts, but we're not here to talk about
that we're here to talk
The
about the
sequel
Clone
trilogy.
Here to
Wars.
talk about Emperor Palpatine playing 6D chess since 1963.
I think we should send in John Wick. See, I just now totally different now.
Oh yeah, John Wick with some lightsabers, that'd be cool.
they off topic, but the rumor is they want to get Keanu Reeves for the Knights of the Old Republic movies that they want coming out.
I've heard
And if
that.
that's the case, please make it so, Lucasfilm. Keanu, I know you're watching. Sign the
He is our
contract.
biggest fan.
Oh, go ahead and subscribe too if you would.
Oh, he already is.
He already is, yeah. He clicked the bell too. So if you want to be like now, make sure that you subscribe and you click the bell and you share it with all your friends.
Like Keanu. But thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back soon. See you then.